Yes.
It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show.
Well, good evening and welcome to another Candid Conversation. But this time we're here on a Wednesday evening and we welcome you. So we're going to give you time to, check us out, get in, like, comment, and share. And most importantly, get in those comments. JT.
Yes, ma'am.
What we got for the people on today?
Well, listen, today we are doing a Wednesday pop-up show. We know that there's been a few weeks where life has been lifing and we have not been able to see you Tuesday at 5 o'clock. But listen, we keep hearing from you all that y'all miss us when we're not online. So you know what we decided to do? We decided to flood your timelines today, whether you're watching this live or by way of a replay, for us to have what I think is an important conversation. I think you do as well, Lady T, about legacy, and how do you want to be remembered?
Yeah, I think it's very important, especially as we get older and we have to, and those of us that are mothers and fathers, we want to leave a legacy. We want to be known for something. We want to be, we want to leave legacy for our children. And interest, since we are mentioning that, Jay, something happened with, let's say, should I call Mr. Sean Combs concerning legacy most recently, and something he said, girl, can you tell the people, and did you hear and read about that?
So I read about it because listen, and just by way of disclaimer, right? We don't make the news, we just report it.
That's it.
This is all public. Don't sue me.
Exactly.
Girl, so last week, he had, or 2 weeks ago, rather, he had asked to put up a $50 million bail package so that he could be released from jail until his sentencing on October 3rd. And the judge, of course, denied it. Right. And so last week, Mr. Combs said that, once he's released from jail, he immediately plans on playing Madison Square Garden. And so I'm thinking, so you're looking at 10 years, you'll probably on the low end, maybe do 2, maybe get some home confinement if you're super lucky, if they can argue your point. But you're looking at 10 years. And the first thing on your brain is when you get out of jail, you're going to play Madison Square Garden. So just to be super transparent, right?
That's kind of messy.
I was growing up in that bling bling era. Mm-hmm. And so, I remember the shiny suits, the big cars, the bottles being popped, before getting flued out was a thing. They were flying you out, right? I remember all of that. I was in there. I won't there, but I was in there.
Right.
I was in there. I just won't there. Okay, but anywho, so when you think about this man, getting, being almost worth $1 billion, that's with a B, right?
With the B.
And having this legacy of being a hit maker, being a fashion designer, being making the bulk of his wealth from selling alcohol, that was his legacy, owning a Revolt, the TV studio, to now being disgraced and being known for freak offs and, these things that are just absolutely deplorable that you would not want your children, to read, let alone hear in person. And in his trial, that testimony was so graphic that his daughters, who are now 18 years old, had to
That's right.
walk out because it was just too much to hear.
Right. And in
And the first
tears,
thing,
I saw one of them. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because this is still their daddy, right?
At the end of the day, yes. And they lost their mother. And then they
And
hear rumors about how they may have lost their mother. And they still have to deal with that too. And they're human. They're young ladies. I mean, you know. But he wants to play Madison Square. But go ahead.
that's your legacy, so I just, legacy is about what happened, in your life, past
Mhm.
events or things you want to be known for. And I just, my thing is he might want to, if he is blessed enough to not have to do any jail time or maybe time served,
Right.
right? I think that there's some other things that you need to focus on regarding your legacy besides that. So, but today we're having a conversation about legacy and what do you want to be known for?
What do you want to be known for? And that's a good question. So if you are in the comment section, we want to hear from you. Hello, Elder Alcindor Hankins, Minister Sir. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. Got an impromptu show going on today because life has been lifing. People have been, we have lots of loved ones who've gone away, and we just want to have a conversation. That's what we do. And we're not coming with anything grandiose. We just want to hear from you because what we do know, people are leaving here, right? You don't want to be ill prepared. You want to leave a legacy for your people, for your family, especially us, Janet, mothers. You want to leave a legacy. What do you want to be known for, Janet? What's your legacy?
Well, before I get into that, Alcindor, I want to just publicly thank you for loving on my grandmother the way that you did. I don't know if y'all can see his profile picture, but that's a picture of Mrs. Anna Burt of Apex, North Carolina. And Alcindor was literally a guardian angel to her. He is, not was, is very generous. She was a woman. Now you talk about legacy. She was a woman who her legacy, her brand was she loved to dress well. She wore the hats. You never saw her looking off. She was straight up. She was direct, but she had a heart that was just huge. There were oftentimes people in the community who were disconnected from their families. And around the holidays, she would open up her home and feed them because they had nowhere to go. And she would make sure that they had to-go plates so that no matter where they were traveling to next, that they had a home cooked meal, that was packed with lots of love. And so that was her legacy. Her latter years were definitely greater than her former. And Alcindor, I want to tell you, sir, we love you. I love you. And I want to thank you for being such a blessing to that beautiful woman of God. She lived 95 years and her legacy was her family and just loving people and helping them however she could. And you played a great role in that. So I salute you, sir. And thank you so much for walking out the love of Christ with Mrs. Anna C. Burt.
And if I may chime in, he is that guy. I tell you, Alcindor has blessed even me. He'll have events for women like your husband's grandmother, and he would give suits away. He would give us. Everyone that came left with something like a suit. Okay, so Alcindor is one who shows the love of Christ in the land of the living, and he walks the walk that he talks. He goes by what the scripture tells us. And he loves the elderly. And I don't know how I'm feeling about that because I feel like I'm not elderly, Alcindor. I mean, I'm there with you and I come to the events and everything, but I got ways to go so I can get all those stripes those ladies have. But he shows the love. He's a great friend. And Janet, I echo your sentiments. You're an awesome man, and we thank God for you. Anywho, hey Janelle, good evening, good evening, good evening. So back to the legacy, JT.
Yes.
Do you have anything that you want to speak on as far as what your legacy will be for your children or for what you want to be left known for?
Yeah, I mean, I want my legacy to be one that, and I can be a whole mess. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Every day is not
really.
Yeah, girl, I can be a whole trip.
You do not have to reintroduce yourself to us, does she, cousins? Let me stop. Go ahead.
It's that spicy Nigerian girl. You just depends, hey, don't catch me. No, but as far but as far as legacy, I want my legacy to be one that, that I love people, that to the best of my ability, I treated everybody right.
Right.
I want to be known for my love, because I really do try to meet people where they are and love them and not judge them, but just love them. And I want my legacy to be that my lifestyle match my walk and my talk. Like you meet me
Mhm.
one time, and what you see is what you get. And then I guess the cherry on the top is that I love my family
Mhm. That's
and my
it. That's
friends and my
and your
friends.
friend. That's right. And I echo those sentiments exactly. You want to be I want to be left I want to leave being known as someone who was th- that added to this life. You know what I'm saying? That added to your life. That was a light to your life, not somebody that dimmed any lights. And for my children to be like, oh, I want to, remember what my mama said, or my mama used to say that. I want to, yeah, I want all those stories to be told. So I get it, and it's important that we choose now, y'all, what we want to be left known for and a legacy and leaving our children. I think we've spoken on the show before. And I think, and I keep remember when China was on the show, she said she's doing things now so that in her latter years, her health is good and she don't have to be a burden to her child. And you want to you want to leave good as much as possible to our children, to our families, not leaving, filling ourselves up with junk right now. And then we get turned 60, 70, we can't walk and we're burdened. So we wanna hear from you all in the comments. So what you feel? Like you said, Janet, what do you want to be remembered for?
Well, I'll say this, T. You
Yeah.
will absolutely be remembered for
Mhm.
making people better. Because
Oh,
if I can speak to what I think part of your legacy is, because it's a lot of things, right? So I'm gonna brag on my friend for a little bit, okay? Tanisha she's very loving, and you only meet her one time, and what you see is
right.
what you get. And no matter she can be mistreated by people, but you would never know it. She still receives them, she still loves them, she still shows them kindness. Not everybody can do that. Some people are professional grudge holders, and you are not that way. And listen, my friend is fly. Like, y'all don't really get to see it right here, but catch her
Girl.
out in these Raleigh, these zip codes. Okay, because she don't be in the street. Catch her in these zip codes, honey.
It is
From
zip
New York
codes.
to LA to Miami to Georgia to all of Cackalack. Honey,
Ah,
she be bringing it every to where she go. I'm just saying. So, you got to add, the fact that you know how to put it together. That, that's
well,
definitely going to be part of your legacy.
well, that's great. Praise God. Well, I thank you, my friends, and likewise, you definitely know. Anybody that knows Janet knows that you have a servant heart and
Oh,
that you care for the people and you go out your way. And the thing about sometimes people be like, "Oh, girl, I'm a missionary. I'm out in these streets. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this and that." But Janet, you do things even if it's an inconvenience to you. Some people do it, it's kind of convenient. You know what I mean? They may take you to the airport because they live in Durham, but they live in Cary, got to come to Raleigh, pick you up. But you do that. You understand me? You would do that. So sometimes, and I feel that anyone that knows you as a friend and a sister, and they know that's what your legacy would definitely be. Your heart, your giver, you care about people. And you can meet this chick one time. I'm telling you, you're funny. So listen, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Raising your children, doing what you do, holding it down, and looking good doing it. We're not gonna forget that, y'all, because we already know how she rocks and how she rolls. But again, what Janelle said, providing laughter and being kind. Ah, yes.
yes. So
That's
Janelle,
exactly.
listen, is that what you want your legacy to be known for? Or, so we just want to clarify,
Yeah.
because if so, then yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, see, you mentioned something really important, Janet, and it is sometimes people don't realize how hard it is to know somebody's doing you wrong or have done you wrong. And I know y'all gonna say because y'all deep and saved, y'all, this is what y'all do. But no. I'm talking for real in real time. Sometimes you say that you can forgive a person and you'll move on, even knowing they did you wrong. But really, do we really? Can you really, in our hearts, the heart? I literally have a gift for that. Like I really have a gift. I call it a gift. Either that or I'm a snap. And hopefully that never happens. But I call it a gift because I could be friends with people and know they wrong and whatever. And I'm okay. And I forget, but I do have friends and people in my life that I know they be like, I'm one and done. She did me wrong, he did me wrong, and I'm done. And I get that. Understand. It might be you a little bit. But We all grow. We all grow. That's a gift. I'm telling you, everybody can't do it, Jay. And so I'm gonna toot my own horn with that one, because I'd be like, oh Lord, it's a gift.
Girl,
But
you
you have
good.
yours. You have your strong points. We all do. Yes, yes, absolutely. And being a great friend. Janelle, that would be Janelle. That would be JB. She said that was her absolutely and being a great friend. We assuming that you talk about
Yes.
you, Jay, Janelle, and we can definitely say that, girl, because you listen. That day she showed up at the hospital. Remember that I was at the hospital. Janelle came with LJ when he was
Yes.
little. She Janelle, yeah, you're that person too. We won't forget you. And came with laughter.
There's so much I could say about that day, but I don't want to be shady. So like, I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak very high. I'm gonna speak in code. I'm gonna do a
It's
dog
after
whistle.
hours. It's
So
not
like,
the kids
so
getting ready for school. Go ahead.
so Tanisha's son had a health challenge.
Yes.
And we, because of who T is, we all just kind of, came in hot to the hospital, because back then you were only supposed to have like two people like in the emergency like hospital room. We won't have in that. We busted in there, like, hey, we in here. Y'all, we were in there 5 deep. So,
They
so
did.
and he, in his condition, maybe it was contagious, but we have a friend, April. She is full of faith. She's going to speak the word. She's going to plead the blood, and no sickness is coming near her. So,
Yeah.
I'm riding with April this day. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to check on them. I'm coming in hot. That Nigerian spicy was being spicy.
Yes, yes.
And so you got Janelle that just comes in like, what's up? She's, bringing the jokes. So then I kind of took it down. And then April's pleading the blood. And then his auntie, pun intended, his auntie came in with a hazmat suit. I
She
said,
was
girl.
hazmat, y'all. That story would never get old. Listen, everybody else was in there. Everybody else was in there. I don't think we even had masks because this was prior to C-19, right? We had this chick. She was PPE, mask covering the mask, glass, the yellow on, the gloves. Yes, IT, National Advantage. She came, but she was protected. I ain't saying no names. Listen, but she came. She was there, and so your circle of friends, your family, they're gonna have that. They're gonna know how you were living. They're gonna remember you for your legacy. Hey, how you doing, Elder? Is this Missionary Marshall? Casper, how you doing? It's been a minute, y'all. We've been missing you all too. Maybe plug that in, but anyway, get back to this stuff. Hey, Tasha. But yeah, Janet, we came to the hospital deep. Now we couldn't get away with that right now. I think LJ was in the 3rd grade, 2nd grade. We got a 10th grader starting tomorrow. So
Wow.
it was a bit, but we were in there deep, before the hospitals was stripping out. They like all this time thing. And not only that, then his aunties, JB and April, goes to the store and loads him up with whatever he asks for. Orange juice, cake, whatever he wanted, he got it for one night to stay in the hospital. But you all be known for being the best.
We were gonna get the best. We went to Whole Foods.
God, mommy.
Listen, we went to Whole Foods and got the most organic orange juice, organic oranges, but then we bought him some strawberry shortcake. Does that mix? It does not. But if that's what he wanted, that's what he was gonna get. But
and he did.
So maybe, hey, so Tanisha, though I don't even know where I was going with. We were talking about Janelle bringing the funny.
Yeah.
I'm not a narcissist, y'all. I'm not trying to point it back to me about my legacy of inconveniencing myself for others. I did it because it's in my heart to do, and I just feel like love is an action word, and you just show forth love. You just do it.
Just do it. And sometimes, my point, sometimes you don't feel you're not good. We warn against this flesh. So sometimes you have to inconvenience yourself. You have to go out of your way. You might not feel like it sometimes, but just to show, we're supposed to show the love of Christ. And that's even with the person that did you wrong. Even if they did you wrong, you feel what you feel. You're gonna feel what you feel, but you have to show the love of Christ in everything you do. So we're just talking again. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about legacy, and yeah, we're tooting each other's horn, but we tell them what's real. I'm not gonna make up anything on anybody. If you know JT, you know who she is as a person, and it has a giving. And I know. I hope I don't ever have to attend your homegoing, but if I do, I know what words will be said and how we will be remembered. We know, girl, you are the real deal when it comes to giving and being a servant and deeds and doing it from your heart. So yeah, I commend that. And anyone else, Janelle, I think you're a loving person. And a lot of people I see popping on. What is your legacy, y'all? Talk to us. Get in the comments and let us know. What do you want to be left known for? What do you want to be remembered as? What do you want people to remember? Have you even thought about it? Some people never even gave it a second thought.
And I think most people don't give it a second thought, but when you're authentic and it is what it is, you don't have to think about it. You just do it. It's an action.
You just right, true. But you and it should, and that's true too. But with Diddy wanting to go play at the Madison Square, what you tell me he was going Madison Square, wanted to play
Girl,
there?
Madison Square Garden when he gets out of jail.
I don't know. That's kind of I don't know, y'all. What y'all feel about that? Janelle said most definitely. I'm like, to what comment? I don't know.
Not to Diddy. She was talking about most definitely as far as giving from the heart and doing it, being genuine.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
So Reverend Marshall says that she wants to be remembered with how she loved others. That's good. That's good. That's good.
And I think that's what we all should be kind of aiming for. You know what I'm saying? When I hear about people passing and the only thing you hear is the negative, or people start saying, and this is what happens. I don't care how good you were. It seemed like if you did that one thing that was not so good, it's like that's what they're talking about. But that's what people, when I hear about somebody passing, the first thing they want to say, oh, she did. Oh, so I'm like, okay. I mean, maybe she did, but I'm sure there's some good things that this person does too. So you have to be careful what you do. You gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because if a person did do drugs, or a person was in the street or did negative things and then they passed, that's kind of what people gonna remember you about. Okay, how many good deeds you did. No, people used to lay low. Oh, she's talking about Diddy.
Diddy, yeah.
He does.
So you brought something up that I think is interesting. So Hulk Hogan passed away a few weeks ago. And, I remember as a child, my dad was a huge, at the time, WWF fan. So we watched wrestling like every time it came on. Because, girl, we had a cable vision box in our living room, and my daddy had one in his bedroom. And I think I had one in my room that me and my sisters had to share. Girl, we was doing it because we had 3 cable boxes. So, that was a big thing.
Y'all was high polluting. Y'all was high polluting colored folk.
Yes, we were. So, but I just remember, Hulkamania. Like, I remember when it transitioned and he would take that shirt off and how the crowd would go crazy. And so, he was a big part of my childhood. And so, he would do these campaigns telling the kids to say no to drugs. And, people looked up to him. He was a part of 80s, American culture. And so, and so for him to die, and people saying stuff like, oh, we're not gonna honor him and his life and his contribution to pop culture because he's a racist. I'm like, so that one private conversation that he had with his daughter that she made public, right? That discounts all the stuff he did. He got baptized before he died. So, all that stuff is kind of covered under the blood. And so we just I just don't agree with that. I just don't think you write people off because of, bad things. I think when you think about legacy, you need to look at the whole, every chapter of their life, because there are some chapters that are bumpy. There are some chapters that are beautiful. There are some chapters that are very dark. And then there are some chapters when you come out into the light. So do we just focus on that one bad chapter?
That's seemingly, as a people, that's what I find. Now, I don't want to say that's what we do, but that's just how it is. I mean, you post and say you liked him or rest in peace. Oh, they jump on you. They on you. Why would you want to say rest in peace to him? He's a racist. Like, is that all he was? And did he repent? Or, you know what I'm saying? Have you ever had a conversation and maybe spoke against a race, another color? Anyway, Janelle says, unfortunately, folks remember, and he said some horrible things. Yeah. I wasn't a fan, so I don't know, but I know what I heard. And like you said, he was part of our childhood. But we also lost Malcolm Jamal Warner, You know, and that was a pretty sad situation too. And he was part of our childhood. But I guess because we didn't hear anything, too bad. Oh, Tasha Watson says she wants to be remembered for being an intercessor, care, love, and strength. Yes, ma'am. Yes, and
Yes.
you are that. My prayer
Yes.
warrior friend of mine. My Shiro. Yes, Tasha. Very loving, very caring, very giving, even while having your own challenges. So I commend you on being a true woman of God, a true friend, intercessor, prayer warrior. You ask her to pray. You know how many times people feel on Facebook and social media, you know how we do? Be like, praying for you, praying for you, praying for you. It's like a catchphrase, right? And that's what people tend to put in your comments when you say pray for me. And they say praying for you. Well, hopefully some of these people are praying. Tasha Watson, however, is going to get on there. If you say pray for me, she getting up there. She's typing out her prayer for you. She's literally praying for you right then and there in real time. And that's what I'm talking about. So you're an awesome woman of God. Awesome woman of God. Stephanie, hello, my friend. Step Mo said, yes, great point.
About losing Malcolm Jamal Warner and that being devastating.
Very, very, very much so. Very much so. So truly, we need to pray for his wife and his daughter, his family. That, it's one thing to lose someone when you kind of know it's coming, but when you're on vacation and you're with your child and your child's witnessing that, and the little girl's going to need a lot of prayer. I mean, his wife, everyone. So I continue to pray for them. And you're right. So and him having been a great actor through our childhood as we grew up, I don't know, I can't remember him playing any real negative part or bad part scenes. And if he did, it was his job because he's an actor. But we remember him for his awesome roles, and and if you knew he was an awesome he played an instrument. He was an awesome musician as well. So
Yeah.
he had great things. So we remember him as those wonderful things and that wonderful role he played on the Cosby Show even. So yes, I agree. And yes, Sasha said, to God be the glory. Yes, ma'am. Good, JT.
So, again, we're talking about legacy and we're asking you to jump in the comments and tell us what it is that you want to be remembered for. We also were going to talk about, how do you prepare your family, and the importance of, making sure that your business is in order and that your affairs are in order. And I think that, and I'm making a broad statement when I say this, right? But, I think that certain nationalities do a better job with making sure that their affairs are in order than others. They put stuff in a trust, they diversify assets, they make sure that, their the business, because every stage of life I hold is business, right? So when you have children, you get into the business of, do we pay for daycare or do we stay home? What do we do?
Right.
You
Right.
when they get ready to go to school, do we put them in public school? Do we put them in private school? When they get ready to go to college, you're in the business of, I can't see your grades because you're grown, but I still got to write this check. So we got to have a business conversation about my investment. So at every stage of life, there's a certain portion of business. And I think as we get older, especially being, respectfully, the middle-aged crew, that's me. I'm talking about me. T is still in her 20s. What are you?
25.
Z? What are you? Girl, she's Generation Z. I'm Generation X. I'm fighting the power, right? So it's Generation X. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm just focused on, I need to get to the bag so that I can plan for my retirement. But there's other things that I need to be planning for as well that you don't think about until you get there. And so, how are you planning for your future? And so, Janelle says, what we need to be doing is getting some life insurance, starting with the basics, making sure that we are taking care of and preparing our family, in the event something happens,
Yes.
making sure that we have adequate life insurance.
Yes, Lord have mercy. And I'm telling you, I can't express it enough how important it is to not do your life insurance. But if you've worked all your life and you got a savings account, or if you have accounts, checking accounts, don't forget about over there, y'all, in the banks, because you really need to have, you don't have a beneficiary down there or another signer on those accounts. That money, once you're gone, is gone. And with the POA, if medical POA is one thing, a POA is another. But with the POA, that the banks is looking like, if your cousin or whoever you the POA for, they pass away, that POA agreement has passed away. Did y'all know that? Like
Yes.
they are gone and the POA agreement is gone. So it means nothing to have it once they're transitioned. So we have to think smart because, like you said from your beginning point you made, some races are so much better in preparing and having preparation for their family. They thought ahead of the game. When they got insurance, they didn't go get 20,000. They went and got like big money insurance because when they pass, they're leaving something for their children. And that's what a lot of them that they do. But a lot of them do. But we have or different races tend to not do that or get the minimum because once I'm gone, I'm gone. Whatever. But your legacy. You want to leave something for your children. If that's the way you have to do it, because some people are just working paycheck to paycheck, so they can't really afford even pay these insurance premiums, much less, at this point. So, but listen, it's you want to have your everything in order. That's the best thing I think. The best legacy you can leave is not a strain on your family.
Yeah.
Don't leave where people have to write for big checks to put in the ground with you. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not fair. It's not fair. It's
Yeah.
not fair. So handling your business. And people don't want to think about it. People, it's not a great subject. You don't want to go in there and be like, oh, I need to do my will. I need to do my last will test. But do it. Just
Do it. Just do it.
don't leave that pressure on your people, on your family. I
No.
spoke with someone today, and they literally said that their relative didn't want to pay $66 in life insurance for themselves. That's what the relative told them. They don't care. And then they said, followed with, I don't care what happens. That's
Okay.
not right. You leave it. So, okay. So we're going to take you. We're going to do what we do. And you be on somebody's shelf. It's okay, though, but don't do that to your people. Don't
Yeah.
do that to your people.
I don't know. I don't know how that works when you literally are like, I don't care. Do they cremate you at the county morgue? Do they just like what are they? Do you get a pauper's grave? Like what does that look like?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. But I do know there have been cases where people were cremated and left at the funeral homes. You know what I'm saying? Just left there, and yeah, we don't want to do that to our families. That's all we saying. Tasha Watson says I'm thinking about my future as an only child dealing with my own health issues. Right. I get
Yeah.
that. I get that. The only child thing. And then it's her being the only child. And then you got elderly people with no children. So, then they got that problem right there. You have no children, but you have assets. What do you do with that? She's an only child with an elderly mother or a mother that's getting older. What's going to happen with me when, if something happens to my caregiver or whatever. So that's real. That's a real conversation. That's real issues that you really need to be handling right now. I know it's a lot, but we got this. We got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I also think as it relates to legacy, we want to make sure too is something to think about rather is we don't want to be so grandiose in our lifetime that when we expire or transition, it ain't matching. Like there's nothing in place and your business is not in line and
Yes.
that's not a good look because you can't be so worried about perception while you here walking around that your real truth is exposed when you leave here. That's not fair to the people that are left to deal with that.
That's a good point. Very good point. It's not to be grandiose and then you got to go fund me everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything got to be go fund me. Just to and it's just not. It's embarrassing to the family. To me, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Anywho, that's what we're talking about, y'all. We have been missing you all. We knew we was like, listen, we're not going another week without coming on and talking to our people. So that's what we did, and we wanted to talk about what we have been experiencing. But I can tell you firsthand what is serious and really at our age, at this tender loving age that we are, with age, some of us with aging parents, some of us aging ourselves with children. Just get your business in order. And you do want to leave a good legacy. Be good people. Do right by people. Forgive people. Forgive them, y'all.
Forgive
Imagine
them.
how many times I could think about Hope can be and I'm going back to that example because that's what we were talking about previously. I could get if he said some things, negative things. I've said some things about some people, other races and things like that. Or get mad, you know what I'm saying? But not anymore because I've calmed that down. We still have to have grace. We still got to get
Yeah.
grace. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's still somebody's father, somebody's, some people
Yeah.
fail parents for lack of knowledge. We don't know. We don't know. I'm learning
That's
that. I'm like, you meet people like Jay, you say I meet people where they are, you meet people where they are. We literally sometimes have to literally do that, you all, even if we know that they're the gutter or the other. You know what I'm saying? We got to meet them where they are. That don't mean you got to go there. It's one thing now. Michelle Obama said now when they go low, go high. I
that's
like
right.
it. I like it.
That's right. But also remember, just because you're cleaned up today, there have been some gutter situations in your life, whether it was a physical gutter,
Yes.
mental gutter,
Yes.
or spiritual gutter.
Mhm.
Don't be so pious that you just can't meet, that you just can't deal with people. You've got,
Right.
not listen, I know, well, I'm gonna say it. The Bible says that with loving kindness have I drawn thee. And so you got to
Yes.
walk in some kindness. You got to walk in
Yes.
some love, because sometimes you're the only reflection of God's love that people see.
That's true. That is so, so true. So true. So true. I recently experienced something with someone and I was like, and I saw them how they were treating their mother because she was dementia, right? And I'm like, listen, you're in a wheelchair. Your mother had to take care of you all your little life. You know what I'm saying? So if she's got a little dementia now, she asking you the same thing 16 times. Answer the question 16 times. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? She had to do a whole lot of sacrifices for him when he was a child. You got nerve to be short tempered. Yeah, nah. Oh, here's a comment. Can you see Teresa's? Mine is cut.
Yeah, it says, I wish that Black people created wills and or trust. You can't let the families duke it out over the house or property and end up losing everything
Come
because you
on.
can't come to an agreement.
Mm, that is facts right there, boy. That need to be pinned.
I wish
And
I
people think
could.
it's funny. They think it's cliche, oh, you see what a person is doing when somebody die. That ain't cute. For that to be known, that's not a good thing. To see how the family is when somebody died. That's not it. We should be known for that, y'all. We're better than that. We're better people. The problem is we don't know who we are. That's the problem. Y'all go through Genesis to Revelations, but there's other books you need to read, you need to research, you need to study. Go ahead, JT, you saying something?
I mean, I'm with Teresa, right? So I'm gonna put that back up there for us. Look, we got to do better, because, like, yes, your homes or your properties typically are your largest source of it's your largest investment,
That's
right?
yes, yes.
And so, yes, there's an intention to sell it, and then you split the proceeds. But in between that time, going back to the business, you got to pay the taxes. You got to
True.
pay for the upkeep. You just can't have a house, have no upkeep, not pay the taxes, and then you want to fight about this property that the government is going to end up taking if there is no will, or God forbid, if there's still a mortgage on it, it has to go. You still got to pay it until the house goes into an escrow account. I mean, it's so many things that go into this stuff, which is why part of our legacy needs to be preparing for the future.
Yes.
Just thinking about it.
Yes. And that's so good that you said that. And good point, Teresa. Thank you so much because that's what happens. Duking it out. Nothing's on paper. We ain't left nothing. We haven't told anyone anything. And then the family. Then you got a family that's not only grieving, but they're fighting while we're
They're
grieving. Now we're
fighting.
arguing, we're fighting. And this one's not going to come to this service. And that one's not going to do this. And I ain't putting no more money in the ground. Listen, we got it. We have to do better. We have to do better. I don't know if we need to have people come like the old days when the insurance man used to come to your house. Maybe that needs to be done. Maybe that's a business. Come on. I'm thinking maybe we should have a business where people go to people's houses and bring the wills and testaments to help you do it. They put it on the computer now. Everything is really at your fingertips, to be honest. Right? Am I right? Even
Literally,
with
you
I'm not going to
download
promote
it, you
any
pay
type of
$50 and you print it out. It's
right.
that simple.
It's simple, right? But I don't know. It's like the knowledge. Where can people learn more? I know the churches are talking about it. I don't know if they need to talk more about it. I don't know what, but y'all help. Because listen,
We're
being in home care, being in this where God has landed me since right before COVID, a place that I never saw coming. Just being in this right now and seeing what I see, I know because I was like, Lord, now wait a minute, I am not nobody's this, that, and the third. But to have a business and see firsthand how families are falling apart because people not this one trying to get somebody's money, that one's trying to get somebody because that one person didn't leave instruction, did not tell, put anything on paper. And I see it firsthand. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm not telling you something. And sometimes I've experienced it even in my own circles, but I see it firsthand, y'all. Don't leave the legacy of your people having to argue over what's an asset, what's not, or your children not knowing, or you got $6,000 to bury you. I don't think you get burned for that now. I don't know. I don't think you can get cremated for that now. But do your homework. Get your stuff in order. Whether you have a little or a lot, just get whatever you have in order. That's it.
That's it.
I'm very passionate about it because I see it and it bothers me so much now because I'm like, okay, Lord, now I see why you got me here. Because I'm seeing firsthand. And I can tell you, it is a certain race. It's not the only race. We're not the only race, but there is a certain race that's known for it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You don't want your children fighting, family falling apart, having to grieve, and everything else. You know what I'm saying? And if you have people in your family, talk to them. Tell them. We got older, elderly people in our families. Talk to them. Tell them. Get things in order. That's all I got with that, Jay. That's all I got with that.
But listen,
hey, that's my brother Sporty. Irvin Sanders said, "Tell it, T." I got on my little soapbox for a minute there, but I'm passionate about it because it's my people, y'all. We y'all. Again, you all. If you only knew who you were, if you only knew. So we don't have, we're labeled because we're known for certain things that we shouldn't have to be known for. Janelle said cremation is between 1 to 2K. Okay, it depends on what state you're in. Wow. A lot of that is done with a lot of families, you guys. And I'm telling you why. Because their quote is they're not putting a whole bunch of money in the ground. So you know what I'm saying? So where we want to go, we seeing them now sitting up at funerals, on motorcycles at funerals. We seeing corpses sitting in chairs. Hello, what are you doing? What are we doing? Have y'all seen that on social media?
I have seen that.
Glass cases and what are you doing? And these grandiose services. Where the money? When you left 6 kids, do any of them have an account? Is there any type of educational funds there for them? You know what I'm saying? Well, y'all said, I go on and on and on and on about it. But I'm making light of it, but it's serious.
Well, now, since you brought it up, it made me think about the rapper DMX. 15 kids, multiple children's mother, died with no will, and they're all fighting over his estate that is in debt. Because if they can get the rights to his imaging, then they can try to Michael Jackson and Prince him by making more money on his image than he had when he was alive. And the family is torn apart. You got 15 children. And he has a special needs child on top of that, right? A set of twins, his youngest children, in which one of them is special needs. And, they get Social Security support. But as far as any real revenue, it's not there. So you want your legacy, you want your legacy to be such that people aren't fighting, when you leave here. But Janelle has a comment, Lady T. She writes, I've seen it, and I know a funeral director who is the best in Pennsylvania, Elliot White.
Okay.
Yeah,
seen
about the cremations, about the cost of the cremations and these tricked out services, but people are saying that they're not putting any money in the ground.
Girl, that's ridiculous. But it's what a lot of African American culture is known for, and that's being grandiose for whatever purpose right before getting laid into the ground. But then it's like you said, we want to leave a legacy for our children. Now that DMX thing, I didn't know that. That's horrible. 15 kids.
15 children, right? Yeah, 15. But now I'm gonna tell you, I want a tricked out funeral. Now I don't want you to put me in no glass case, and I don't want to be sitting in no chair, and I don't want no queen's crown, but I want me a nice pink casket with a pink pillow, and I want gold undertones, and I want it to be, listen, y'all are hearing me. This is public.
It's
I want
public.
it to be a party. It needs to be celebratory because, in my mind, I'm all the way live. So my service needs to be all the way live. It needs to be happy, happy, joy, joy. And the preacher needs to get the people to get saved at the end. And then, if y'all want to have a repast, I'll provide to pay for that. It's going to be a party. It ain't going to be no whole, but it's going to be sad because of course I'm going to be missed, but it needs to be celebratory. I don't want nobody knows all the trouble. I ain't had no trouble like that. I don't want
none of that. None of that. It's all joyous. Ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Joy.
Wear black if you can wear black if you want to, but the pretty, the brighter for me.
Look, they better have on some prints because I don't like solid color nothing. I like prints. I like big funky prints.
Don't worry, as long as we got to sit you up on no queen chair and none of that other stuff that they doing out here in these streets, right, Janelle? Yeah. Right, you already know. We already know.
And T, you make it if I leave before you, girl, make sure my makeup is done. Make sure I have some good hair, and but make sure my beat is beat. I'm not trying to look like the pancake lady. I need to look like myself.
You ain't never got to worry about that. Ever. Between me and Kalia and Jackie, we got you. And Tamika, we got you, girl. We already know.
Okay, girl. Just let them know. Let them know.
Let the people know. We're not tricking it out, but we're going to have a good celebration. And that's how we want to be. That's how I want to be remembered. That's how I want my celebration, my service to be as well. And again, we are talking about legacy and leaving things for your family and doing things that you can do to not leave them burdened with responsibilities that we could have handled while we were right now, today, tomorrow, right here in the middle of August. And can y'all believe it is almost the middle of August? I don't even want to trip on that right there. That's something else. Tasha said, can we talk about life insurance and your funds aren't immediate? Oh, and really? I don't know. Funds aren't immediate when someone passes away. You report that to the insurance company with the death certificate.
And I can explain that.
Okay.
That no. So Tamika's laughing because she said, my beat and my hair. I need 3 bundles, y'all, and a closure. But yeah, Tamika's on that. And Tasha's saying she wants it to be celebratory too. So yeah, we just don't want it to be sad. But getting back to Tasha's question about the life insurance and the funds are not immediately available. Y'all, the game has changed. As soon as the person transitions and the morgue takes the body, you get a certificate that you can upload to the insurance company, and they will work directly with the funeral home and advance funds to your services. However, you have to sign a promissory note that if anything happens, right, with that policy, you're on the hook for those payments. But as soon as, but the insurance companies are really good because now everything's electronic. They turn those funds around relatively quickly. But depending on the size of the policy, you're not getting that money like in 2 or 3 days. They advance enough to take care of the service. And then once all the criteria is met and that paperwork is turned in, then they will direct deposit the remaining balance in your account, at a later date. It's not real long, but it's a later date.
Didn't know. Good to know. So hopefully that answers your question, Tasha. Tamika said legacy is essential in taking care of business. Yes. Talk about it a lot, and sometimes I wish that, some things we would have known earlier on, if I'd have known earlier on, I feel like I'm late to the party.
Me too.
But it is what it is. At least we know now. And now you all who are listening, now you know. So you're accountable for what you know and not, being that burden or leaving things undone for your family to have to handle. It's not fair.
It's not fair. And it's stressful because you're in a state of mourning. Don't nobody want to be fighting over, I want her pillow. I want her jewelry.
Girl.
I want the house. I want her car. What?
Yes. And that's true, y'all. I'm telling you. It's real. It's real. If you don't know, you've never experienced it. It's real. Like I said, I'm not telling you something I heard. I see it in real time. And I'm like, wow, this is, and families are torn apart because somebody died, because somebody left, and that somebody didn't leave instruction. Pretty much is what it is, So yeah, birthday is next week. Janelle, birthday coming up.
Hey, girl. Hey.
All right. We're gonna remember that on the 23rd. My mom's birthday is the 21st. So I'm gonna remember that, Janelle. Janelle is one of our VIP listeners. And many of you are. We appreciate you all for tuning in on today on this impromptu Wednesday, because we were unable to get on yesterday, but we're definitely glad to be here. We could not let another week go by. We were like, oh, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. Tasha said, yeah, I heard some insurance companies take a minute. Yeah, I guess you do your due diligence. I would call and ask questions too. You know, you can do that with whomever you're dealing with.
And this is the other thing. Don't assume that people are in the insurance companies or your employers are in the same rush that you are. They're dealing with this stuff all day long. You are you are one in a number. So you got to stay on these people. You've got to email them. You've got to follow up to advocate for what you need and how you need it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you or your loved one except for you. So you've got to advocate for yourself.
Woo. Listen, you said a mouthful right there. You got to advocate for yourself, and they're not going to tell you any more than what you need to know. Just like the banks, you know, if your money is sitting there and you don't have a signer on that account or the beneficiary on that account, whatever's there, if it's $20 or $20,000, it's not going towards that funeral. And by the time it goes through courts and courts and courts for them to try to get it, it's not even worth it at the end of the day. And you worked hard for your savings. You worked hard for your money. You know, so it's in order. That's all I have to say, Janet. That's all I have. Yes. But listen, we have a special guest coming on next week. I think, I don't know if we want to
put a pin in that. Put a pin in that.
I retract. So either way, we'll be back on Tuesday next week. How about that? How about we give you that? And we'll have a guest.
And listen, don't sleep on us, y'all. We're gonna do some more of these pop-up shows because we've heard you, and so we're trying to respond. So thank y'all for joining us.
Yes. Some people say Tuesdays is hard at 5. So hey, we try Wednesday at 6:30. How about that? And we seeing you all on. We love you for it, and we appreciate you. And we'll see you all next week. Again, on Candid Conversations right here. We're not even on Oak right now, but on Oak 93.5 FM or right here on Facebook Live. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show. Check it out. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show.